what percentage of women do we think don't have an accurate understanding of their skin? Now, I will give you a hint. It is quite a large percentage. It is actually 78% of women that don't have an accurate understanding of their skin. Now, this can either be their skin type, their condition, potentially they've been misdiagnosed in the past, they're not using the right skincare, they're not undergoing the right treatments, and they just don't quite know what is going on and what the best course of action for their skin is. Now, the best thing is it's easier than ever to provide a nice, thorough, in-depth and accurate consultation. And the way that we do that is using advanced technology such as the OBSERV 520 to really analyze the skin. So what do technology enhanced analysis look like? What does that look like for the client? What this means is we can visibly illustrate the client's concern in a very easy to understand manner. Now, I'm sure you're all very used to working with potentially a Woods lamp or a Maggie lamp of some sort to analyze the skin. Now, the downfall with that is that the client isn't able to see what you are seeing. They don't quite understand and can't visibly put the two together. You might tell them they have dehydration, but they don't know what that looks like. They can't pinpoint those concerns. And when things are a little bit harder to understand, it does make investing that money and that time into their skin a little bit more difficult. Now, the bonus with the OBSERV, as you can see in this picture here, is you will be able to show the client their skin. They can have a look, they can zoom in, and they can start to understand what we're seeing as a therapist and as a clinician. It determines the client's skin condition from the surface all the way deep down. We are able to almost peel back those layers like an onion. Not only are we able to look at that surface skin, but we're able to go, okay, next layer, let's look at pigmentation and look at that singularly. Again, the best part of this is that the client will be able to understand that. If you're looking at just pigment in one photo, great, they're going to draw their concentration there and they're going to be able to understand exactly what they're looking at. Next photo, we're going to look at oil flow. Great, they're going to be able to understand that photo as well. And we're going to gain a better diagnosis of not only what's going on the surface of the skin, but also what is happening underneath. It provides an accurate and clear understanding of the skin. So if you are a therapist that is quite new or struggles with your skin analysis and consultations, this is a perfect tool for you. Again, the OBSERV is nice and simple, not only for clients to understand, but for therapists to gain a better understanding of the skin so that their diagnosis can be more accurate, better, and clients can walk away a lot happier. If you are someone that struggles with the retail side of things, this also makes things a lot easier. The reason being is that you're able to show the client the pigment that you're talking about, and then talking about a sunscreen or a tyrosinase inhibitor becomes a lot easier. It stops being a sale and the client can see exactly what you're talking about. So they're going to be able to identify that issue and want to treat that concern as well. It shows tangible and trackable results. Now, again, when we're taking photos with just an iPad or looking at a skin through a Woods lamp, we're not really able to track all the results that we get. The great thing about the OBSERV is it even looks at things like capillaries, something that an iPad won't look at, you know, that a Woods lamp won't really pick up. Seeing those subtle changes in things like pore size is going to be a lot harder, and that's something a Woods lamp doesn't track. So what the OBSERV is going to allow you to do is track those subtle changes and concerns. It is also going to be able to provide you a tool to show the client side by side exactly what results you have achieved. Now, clients won't remember what they look like the night before. Scientifically, our brain resets. So they're definitely not going to remember what they looked like 6 weeks ago after using that skincare and having those treatments. So definitely an amazing way to show that client exactly what they've achieved. So the benefits of the OBSERV. So clients will want regular skin analysis. They're going to get a bit more excited about seeing their skin. Sometimes what they see is a little bit scary. It can be a little bit confronting, but it does actually get them a little bit more excited. It's similar to getting your measurements taken at the gym. You want to get those results. You want to see how much how many centimeters you've lost in this session. It is exactly the same with the OBSERV. They're going to want to see exactly what changes have happened from using that skincare, introducing that new product, having that treatment. It's going to become a bit more exciting for them. All of your images are taken and stored on an iPad. Amazing, so that you can back them up, but you can easily post them to social media. And even better, your OBSERV photos are actually able to be emailed to the client directly or printed out for them. So regardless of how you perform your consultations, whether you like to physically hand something to the client or whether you have more of a tech-savvy group of clients in your salon, you are able to cater to all of them. So a lot of younger clients, they've always got their phone with them. I know I am one of them. So if I had my skincare recommendations on my email, it makes it so much easier to go back and refer to them at any point. It enhances professionalism and credibility. The way I describe this to a lot of therapists when we do in-house training is it's similar to going to the doctor. You can sit across from that table and talk to them about your concern and your symptoms, and they may have an idea of what you are leaning towards or what you are talking about, but then they're going to get out the stethoscope. They're going to check your blood pressure. They're going to look at your temperature. They're going to look in your inner ear. They're going to look down your throat. They're going to see exactly what is going on. They're going to send you for a blood test. It's these diagnostic tools that really allow you to go, I suspect what it is, but we're going to use this amazing in-depth tool to really diagnose and really know for sure what is going on with your skin. That credibility will allow you to do things like charge for your consultations, something that a lot of therapists don't do. They will give away that 30 minutes of time free, which is fantastic. But it also means that you will be open to some clients just using that 30 minutes to pull information, and really you don't benefit from it. I've worked in clinics like that before where there's been 30-minute, 40-minute consultations. And unfortunately with that, you do have a few clients wasting your time. Being able to use modalities and technology in your consultation will mean charging for it is a lot easier. You are able to say, this is why I charge for my consultations. It's redeemable on product. We can redeem it on treatment if you choose, but this is why I charge for my consultation. I don't only look at your skin, but I diagnose your skin from the inside out. I use technology when we go through your consultation. And that generally makes it a lot easier to do something like charge for your consultation appointments. Objective tool, it is completely objective. You cannot alter it. What you see is what you get. Clients are going to be able to put their trust in what they're seeing. A lot of other diagnostic tools, they may look at, the depth of collagen or the percentage of pigmentation. Clients don't exactly know what that means. What the depth of something is, or the percentage of melanin, or, the percentage of water in their skin. They don't really understand. So with things like the OBSERV, where it's completely visual and objective, they can see for themselves, totally comprehensible, easy to understand, and they can follow along with you. And that sometimes helps them relax. They can also identify issues with their skin that they may not have known were there, may not have noticed before, and something that they may not have been able to articulate before. Something that has bothered them that they're not able to quite express. They can point to it and go, this is what I'm talking about. Great, that's pigmentation. This is what it is. This is how we're going to treat it. It makes that conversation a lot easier. The modes will help you obtain a sharper, more detailed visual of each concern. So again, the OBSERV does break it down into different photos, which we are going to go through soon. So again, we're going to look at redness on its own. We're going to look at pigmentation pretty much on its own. We're going to look at texture on its own. A lot of therapists that we have for training actually say, oh, is that it? I want more in-depth training. I need more. That's it. It's so easy to comprehend and understand, not only for the therapist, but for the client. If we made it more complicated, it would again become confusing for the client. They wouldn't be able to follow along, and we'd lose that appeal of the OBSERV. So what you see is what you get with the OBSERV photos. You will be more confident in recommending retail, and clients are going to become a lot more interested in what we're doing with their skin. So now we're going to go through every single light mode that the OBSERV takes. There are 6 of them, and we're going to break them down one by one. Now, the first one that we have here is our daylight illumination mode. Now, this mode is the surface of the skin. This is our conversation starter. It is going to illuminate the skin in an even form with no shadowing to provide the client a consistent overall view of their surface skin. It is how someone would see you socially, and it gives you the ability to ask the client, if you could change one thing about your skin, what would it be? They're able to zoom in, point things out, and you're able to get a better understanding of what brought them to your salon today. The second mode is a mode called cross-polarized. Now, as you can see from the picture, it looks quite matte, and that is actually the light mode doing its thing, it's working. What this mode does is it mattifies or blocks out the shine of the skin so that we are able to see skin redness and discoloration. So here we're going to see things like broken capillaries, diffuse redness, rosacea. We're going to see dermatitis, eczema, any kind of inflamed skin. Any kind of skin sensitivity is going to become a lot more apparent. So if we have a client that has a lot of diffuse redness, whether it's along the cheeks or the nose, this is going to highlight potentially those vessels underneath the skin that are responsible. We're going to be able to determine if we've got a lot of sensitivity there. It might eliminate doing that chemical peel. It might eliminate doing that needling session until we get that skin health correct. It might mean that, great, there's that diffuse redness there. We can go in with our laser or IPL and really get to those capillaries. I can see them. This is going to work fantastic. So this really helps us hone in whether someone may be eligible for those enhanced treatments or not. So how does this work? So again, it mattifies the skin. It uses 6 light emitters, and they come in at a cross-polarized angle. So hence the name cross-polarized. Now again, surface shine is suppressed, and we go down into that papillary layer, and that is what is reflected back up at us so that we're able to see that skin redness and skin sensitivities. The third mode is parallel polarized. So this is slightly opposite to our cross-polarized. It actually illuminates all of that surface shine. So this one is going to show up all those lumps, bumps, texture, enlarged pores, anything textural on the surface of the skin. It is going to show wrinkle depth, static wrinkles, skin degradation around the eyes. So that first visible sign of aging in that corner eye there, we're going to be able to see with this mode. Roughness, congestion. This is actually one of my favorite modes because something that's the most difficult to track, I guess, is pore size. So when someone comes in and they're getting chemical peels or skin needling or photorejuvenation, anything for enlarged pores, it is a very hard result to track. With normal iPads, you've kind of got to get the right angle. Even if you're looking at wrinkle depth, that can often be a little bit harder to track. This is going to be the mode for you. If you are someone that deals with a lot of open pores, textural issues, aging clients, glycation clients, this is the mode that you would concentrate the most on. Now, this mode works in a slightly different way. It uses 3 light emitters, and again, it illuminates and enhances that reflection on the pure surface of the skin so that we can see all those fine details. So we're going to be able to see that roughness and that texture. The next mode we have is our true UV. Now, some of you may have seen the Nivea commercials a very long time ago where they were using a similar light to show people the effects of sunscreen. If you wore sunscreen under the true UV mode, you would look black. So it completely blocks out this light mode. Don't worry though, it is harmless UV. It is a very teeny weeny amount. It is less than what you would get in a nail lamp, so it is completely safe. But what this mode does is it shows hidden skin conditions. And it does this by using a technology called biofluorescence. Think almost like when you go to a nightclub and your white shoes illuminate. Now, it's not actually the shoe itself illuminating, it's substances within that shoe. And what it does is it reflects that light back at us. When we use this light on the skin itself won't reflect things back, but substances in the skin will reflect certain colors back at us. Like in this photo here, we can see a lot of orange around the nose, and they are our porphyrins. So we can see there is a congestion there and a bit of acneic or congested activity. So depending on what we're looking at in the skin, this can show up oil flow, it can show up pigmentation, that's going to come back a darker color. It can show us thinning skin, skin degradation, especially around the eyes, and that will look quite dark. It will also show flaky skin, so that will come up white. So if you have any dead keratinized cells on the surface of the skin, this mode is going to enhance that for us. So here are the things we can see with our true UV. So once again, we can see porphyrins. So they usually come up a yellow or an orange, and this shows worsened oil flow, acneic activity, and also congestion. We have pigmentation, which will come up like a dark browny color. Loss of skin integrity. So again, we see it a lot around the eyes. This is generally the first place that the skin will start to break down, and that first sign of aging. We can also see scaly skin. We can see buildup of skin around the lips as well. Sometimes that's a white yellowy color, and we can see any kind of skin breakdown. Now, the way this one works, again, completely harmless UV rays. They are in very, very small dosages, 6 light emitters that will illuminate the skin. And this is going to cause that biofluorescent reaction where the skin is shining those substance colors back at us, so that we're going to be able to determine if someone has really, really deep freckles, if someone has a lot of oil flow. This is the mode that is best used to determine those. We've got our tried and true woods lamp mode as well. Now we call it a simulated woods lamp mode because it isn't quite the normal woods lamp. It is a modernized classic. So it is almost the OBSERV spin on it. Because our other modes show a lot of what a normal woods lamp would, it will show oil flow a lot better in the true UV mode, skin degradation, things like that in the other modes. This mode purely is used for classifying someone's skin type. So what we're looking for is how much lipid flow or oil flow do we have around the face? Do we have a lot of hydration or dehydration? Where is that client's skin type sitting? Often we'll see a lot of oil flow with our true UV mode. And then when we come to this mode, again, we can see in the photo here, they're quite dark purple in appearance. And that actually means that they have little oil flow and quite dehydrated skin. So what that can often mean is that their skin is quite dry, and that is what's causing that oil to clog and congest. If we had someone that was almost like a light bluey appearance, that generally means they're a bit more hydrated, they're looking a lot more supple, and their skin is generally on the naturally oily side or the normal side, the more hydrated side. And it just helps you piece together what is going on with that client's skin. Now, the last mode that we have here, you will notice looks quite grainy. It looks a little bit not good quality. The reason being is because it's not actually a photo the OBSERV takes. This is actually a composition of all of the previous photos stacked on top of one another. So this is bringing all of those underlying concerns to the surface. Now, what this means is we're seeing one of two things. We are seeing the true condition of that skin. We are seeing how healthy your skin actually is, because those concerns, while underlying, they're there. So once they're on the surface of the skin, it gives us an overview of the quality of the skin, how healthy it is, how much pigmentation they actually have, how much redness they actually have, how deep their wrinkles are. It's all becoming apparent on the surface of the skin. So any kind of subtle changes in skin health are very apparent with this mode. We have a lot of clients that use this mode for before and afters, or even to document subtle changes after starting things as simple as skincare with no treatments. This mode is going to show that overall health changing in your skin. Not only that, it is going to be almost a crystal ball, because as we know as therapists, anything underlying in the skin will eventually surface. It will come up. And what that means is that over the years, these things are going to start to surface. This is how your skin could potentially look if untreated, if you don't start that sunscreen, if you don't stay out of the sun, if you don't start washing your makeup off at night. These are the things that clients will pay attention to, that overall health of their skin. Some people get to this mode and they go, oh God, oh no, where do I sign up? Some people say they look like their mum. Clients will get very passionate about this mode. But again, what I really love about this mode is it will document any kind of subtle changes. So your observed photos are very good at pinpointing those concerns. This is that great finishing overall view. Now we're going to talk about something called face notes. So the face notes option on the OBSERV actually gives you the ability to finalize your consultation, do the recommendations via your OBSERV, and email them off or print them out. So it means you're not having to double handle. It means you're not having to go back to your computer system and type in all your recommendations. It also means you're not having to write them all down on a piece of paper just to have your client say that they lost it or they didn't pay attention to it. So now I'm going to go through what the face notes are and how they actually work. Before we go on to the annotations, we're just going to quickly touch on that consultation, really honing that in. So here we have the vertical split feature. So we are able to divide the client's face in half and show one light mode on one side and another light mode on the other. Now, this is great because we can do this with not only the same session, so the session that we've just taken, but if they've had consecutive sessions, if there's been their initial treatment 6 months down the track, we want to compare, we can compare those photos like this. Now, the great thing about the OBSERV is it allows you to line up the face perfectly using something called the ghosting mode. So what it will do is it will take the outline of the previous photo that the client has taken, and it will create almost like a trace on the screen when you're lining up their head for their second, third, fourth photo, so that you're lining up their head perfectly with that trace from the first photo, so that all of your photos are consistent along the way. Their head is in the exact same spot, and it does mean that your before and afters are going to be a lot more cohesive, and you're going to be able to show the client more thoroughly their before and after. With your split screen, we're able to change it, slide it, move it around so that we can really showcase to the client what we're seeing. So for example, in this picture here, we can see that there is pigmentation present on the surface, but when we slide that true UV over, we can definitely see some skin degradation and that darkening around the eye and potentially what is melasma underneath the skin on those cheekbones there. We can split it top, bottom, left, right. We can actually compare the same side of the face to the same side of the face if we want to. So regardless of how you would like to view the face, you're absolutely able to do it with your OBSERV. We have a zoom feature. So regardless of whether you're using the split screen feature, the top or bottom, if you're looking at one singular photo, you can zoom in. And as you'll notice, when you move around on one photo, if you have split the screen, it will move both so that you're able to track both images. All right, let's talk about the face notes a little bit more. So again, we have a built-in database. So we are able to save the clients under their name in the OBSERV app. Now this can be backed up via iTunes. iTunes, unfortunately, is on its way out, and eventually it will move to a cloud system, but everything is able to be saved and backed up. So here's just a quick little animation about the Face Notes feature. So I'm just going to talk you through. So down the bottom here, you will see a edit button or a pencil button, and that is going to take you through to your Face Notes. What this allows you to do is circle, square, or drop a pin around any concerns that you want to highlight for the client. And it doesn't actually matter what photo you choose, just choose the one that is most necessary for the client. You know, if they're focusing on pigment, you might choose their pigment photo. Then what we're going to do is we're going to select their concern. Now the OBSERV does come with preset concerns, but you can alter them and change them. You can then recommend whatever treatment you'd like. And again, this is able to be edited. So you can upload your entire treatment menu, your entire home care, so that you can select what is necessary for the client. You can then type in whatever you need in the client notes. And once again, you can see that you can add as many colors as you like using that plus button there. And if you make a mistake, all you need to do is hold down that particular square or circle and remove. You can zoom in for really singular spots or little tight-knit areas. And you can even delete a layer if you've made a mistake. Now, the way to delete anything with the OBSERV is that little padlock button down the bottom. So if you need to delete a profile, if a set of photos didn't come out correctly, if you need to delete a face note, it's all done via the padlock button there. If you've made a mistake and also created 2 files for a client and it needs to be 1, the OBSERV actually allows you to remerge them as well. So it's extremely user-friendly. Now, what I love about the Face Notes the most is that it's able to be tailored to you. So you are able to change the entire treatment menu and home care prescription based on what you have in your clinic. So some clients of ours, they will do it by product. So they might go cleanser. These are all the cleansers we have. Serums, these are all the serums we have. We have some clinics that do it by skincare concern if they've got, you know, relatively new therapists in their clinic, or they've got particular treatment packages that they deliver. So a pigment package, they'll do this. Some clinics do it via brand if they've got multiple brands as well. So you can set it up any way that you'd like. If you don't like anything, again, you can delete it. Once you've saved it into the OBSERV, it's universal. So if you went to my photo, if you went to someone else's photo, those recommendations are the same. So once you've programmed them and saved them, they are in there permanently. Now, again, once you've done your face notes and you've recommended everything to the client, there are 3 things you can do with that information. You can either print it for the client so they can have a physical copy. You can email them. Now that can just be the photo with the annotations or the face notes on there, or it can be the entire, you know, series of photos that you've taken. Potentially they want to go home and show their husband and go, this is why I'm spending so much on skincare, whatever they would like, or you can just do a singular report. You can also export all of their photos onto the iPad and save it into your gallery. Now, what this does is it allows you to upload to things like Instagram, Facebook, social media. It also allows you, if you have an Internet Explorer or app-based computer program, to save those client photos to that client profile. For example, if you have Simple Salon or Clinico or Gumnut or anything like that, you can absolutely save those clients' photo to their profile on the computer as well. So what are the benefits of a skin health plan? So a proper in-depth skin analysis always allows for a more accurate diagnosis and treatment plan. It allows you to ensure that what you have recommended and what you have prescribed for the client is accurate. You probably have come into contact, and I know I've come into contact with clients that won't use retinol anymore because they had the wrong retinol prescribed. Potentially they were told to use it every night straight away, and now they don't want to use it anymore. It allows you to make sure that your prescription is accurate, and it builds that trust with that client. So you can say to them, I know you've had a bad experience before, but we can visibly see here, this is what you need. We can start it slow. It builds that rapport and that relationship and that trust. It also helps you match the recommendations to that individual client concern and their expectations and their budget. A lot of clients will come in and say, I just want to focus on my pigmentation. This is all I want to focus on. In which case, you're only going to focus on the light modes that talk about pigmentation. You're not going to go through the cross-polarized and talk about redness. You'll focus on the ones that predominantly talk about pigmentation. And that's going to help, because if they're, a D-type personality and they're like, yeah, get it over and done with, it helps you condense that consultation and really make them feel heard and like you're not wasting their time. Opposite to that, you might have someone that says, I'm getting married in a year, I want the works. You can give them the works, absolutely. You can go through every photo in amazing detail. We can break it all down. Depending on the client we have, we can tailor the way that we do our observed consultation. Diagnosis allows us to tailor our treatment plan and make things a lot more cohesive. And what I mean by that is if you have a client coming in with two concerns, let's say they are very sensitive, but they're very oily, you can look at both. You can go, great, a vitamin B is going to be great for that. We're going to do this treatment for you, because it looks at both. It allows you to create a better and more tailored treatment plan to make sure you're addressing maybe not only one concern, but multiple. It also eliminates error. So if you are someone that struggles to diagnose melasma, if you are someone that struggles with rosacea, diagnosing what type of acne we're looking at and what the best treatment for that would be, or even the true severity of a condition. A client might say, it's not that bad, doesn't bother me, and then they're full of freckles. They light up like a Christmas tree. We can actually determine what is going on with the skin, the severity, and also make sure that we're happy with what we've recommended. If we've got someone with melasma, then heat-based treatments, IPL, some lasers, they're not able to be performed. So we would have to educate the client on why we can't, and we have that visible tool to show them as well exactly why we can't do that. So before we finish today, we're going to go through a quick skin analysis case study from My Skin when they introduced the OBSERV 520. Now, what they found was a 52% increase in skincare sales. So definitely clients were more comfortable purchasing retail when going with the OBSERV 520, which is awesome and to be expected. What's not expected, however, is that there was a greater increase in treatment sales. Now, it's common when clients come for a consultation to purchase retail. They've Googled you, they've stalked your Instagram, they've looked at your Facebook, they've read your Google reviews, they've called you, booked an appointment, driven to you, told you their concern. That's a lot of steps. By the time they get to you, they're probably going to buy something. What they may not do is book a treatment. Commit to 6 sessions with you, return regularly, build that rapport with you, trust you. And that's something that actually had a greater increase with something like the OBSERV. It helped clients feel more comfortable in undergoing a treatment program, which again takes a lot of commitment, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time of theirs. So to see an increase greater than retail, I think is phenomenal and very unexpected. What they also found was there was a 33% increase in return visits. So clients were more likely to return, come back, whether it be for skincare, for a review appointment, or for further treatments. So wrapping up today, why the ultimate client consultation? Why the OBSERV? We're able to compare the skin via different modes. We're able to really educate the client on all the layers of their skin, what everything means, and what exactly we're seeing in the skin. We can create an amazing treatment plan for them that we can email and print, and we can track it over time. Client engagement is huge. Making sure that client is feeling excited about their skin and ready to make that investment. It is an investment at the end of the day. They might buy products online typically. They might just go off what that beauty blogger recommends. To come in and engage with you is amazing, you know, to build that rapport, to change someone's life. They might have had the wrong product before. This is going to really help you engage in why we're doing what we're doing today, why we're recommending what we're recommending, and helping them get excited about their skin again. It builds trust and loyalty. So once again, we're able to talk to the client openly and honestly about their skin and help them get involved in their own consultation. They can point things out, they can look at things, they can start to understand and put the pieces together, so that whether they go to you or they do still decide to buy their skincare online, they're going to be a bit more educated about their skin. But not only that, they're going to trust your recommendations. They can see exactly what you're talking about. It will help you build better treatment plans. So if you, again, are someone that struggles with this portion of your business, I have a lot of our clients that do struggle with consultations. This is going to help you immensely. It's simplified, it's one by one. And again, you can help the client do most of the work. You know, get them to zoom in on the iPad, get them to click what they don't like. You get to share that load with them, rather than just talk at the client about what they need. And this will help you feel more comfortable. You'll start to get into a rhythm, and you'll start to, you know, relax about educating your client. So if you are someone that struggles with this aspect, this is an amazing tool for you. It's going to help give you a competitive advantage. Now, I know I already spoke about it, but clients that have the OBSERV will generally start to charge for their consultations, and it does give them that competitive advantage. You can say, the reason I charge is because of this. I diagnose your skin inside and out, even if you don't charge. Even if you decide to do the OBSERV free of charge as part of your consultation, it is a point of difference between you and the clinic down the road that just looks at their skin, cleanses it, looks at it via a Maggie lamp, and that's it. So it is going to provide you a little bit more of an advantage there. Now, again, we've got our phone numbers there, depending on where you're located. We have our email, and we also have our website. So if you do have something that you want to ask us, but maybe you want to do it privately, just pop it through there. Or our website has a lot of great information as well.